Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, race fans, here we go. We got Rockingham tonight here. Bumpy track here, too. I tell you what, it's going to be a good one here with the Clean Racing League. These guys should have their hands full with these trucks. Caleb, this can be a pretty tricky track here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is quite possibly one of the more difficult tracks I think these drivers are going to face this season, and it's in the playoffs. This is the round of 7, so a lot of drivers, a lot of drivers also not going to be here tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think Honeycutt's here. I haven't really looked to see, but from just the chat.
Do not see him out here. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Yes, he's in 11th. Yeah. Yes, he's there.
Oh.
Showing him 11th right now. Tyler Honeycutt.
Here.
They're showing him there. Still there? I think we lost Caleb. Discord went wacky on him a little bit. We'll give him a few here to get back. Qualifying underway. Lane Hoosler, though, on top right now. Ross Tatum. Rob Sherwood. I flashed up on the screen there to show you the 8 drivers that are racing for the championship right now, folks, and it ought to be a good one. Joshua Altus right along with them, with Jeremy Moyer. Got Matthew Dyer there, Justin Carey, Zachary Peterson, Eric Anderson, Evan Kinney. That's your top 10. Outside the top 10, you got Tyler Honeycutt there along with it. Caleb, be back yet?
Hello?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay. My apologies, everyone. I had a slight malfunction with my Discord.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Discord probably went wacky.
So,
they're
I don't
showing
even.
Honeycutt out here.
Okay, so he did end up making it. So that's always a plus. You want to see your playoff drivers making the field.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, very difficult track. One of the more difficult ones I've ever raced. These walls sneak up on you fast, very bumpy, very loose as well. The truck will slide out from underneath you, and you'll meet that wall one way or another. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight, especially if patience isn't a factor. But we do have updated points. I believe you did show that already.
I showed the points bracket right now, which is the 8 drivers that are battling for the final 4, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's a really close battle at the cut line. You got Ross Tatum +1, Justin Carey -1, Honeycutt -3, and Sherwood -9. And Altus isn't as safe as he was going into the round of 10. He was I think he was +30. Now he's only +9. So,
oh wow, okay.
Big shift in I wouldn't say momentum, but the way you're going to have to race. I think we're going to see a lot more aggression out of these drivers, especially now that this is their last chance to make the championship race, and there's only 2 races left.
Yeah,
at this one more. So
you need to come out of here with a pretty good finish, basically. In those top 8, I would say a solid top 10 is what you need. Top 5, even better. A win definitely is the ultimate goal. As we're getting set here to grid them up, let's look at the grid here tonight. As these guys, man, are putting it out here for Rockingham for us. Man, on pole though, Lane Hoosler. He has just been a dominating force so far this season and in the playoffs. He's looking for redemption. He wants that championship he got, I'm going to say, kind of took away it kind of snuck away from him last year. But we'll see what happens this year if he makes it to the Final 4. Ross Tatum there in 2nd. Rob Sherwood, you spoke of him starting 3rd. Joshua Aldridge up in 4th. Jimmy Moyer there in 5th. We got Matthew Dyer starting 6th. Justin Carey 7th. Zachary Peterson up in 8th. Eric Anderson 9th. And Evan Kinney in 10th. Look to the rest of the field. We got 24 drivers here. Good solid field of machines. and a treacherous track that, almost, I'm going to say is probably about as unpredictable as a super speedway.
Yeah, this track was very hit or miss. Some of the drivers you think would do well, sometimes would have some bad luck, or the track would just get the best of them and they would fall back. So we might see a surprise winner, first time winner tonight, or we might see some of that dominance that we've seen from the 61 truck all season. But, there's a lot of hungry drivers behind him, like you said, Ross Tatum, Rob Sherwood, Altus, Moyer, Dyer, Carey. These are all drivers that want to win, but have
Yes.
kind of been behind the 61 truck all season. So, these are, these are drivers that want to win. I see Peterson's in the field.
Yeah, I see that.
He hasn't been here, top 10 in qualifying. So, I see Jacob Grant qualified 16th.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that's the best.
Now remember, well, speaking of best, we got the best of the best too there. A little after the championship drivers, there's a little battle going on there too.
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about that before we go green here. So there's 4 battles we have going on. We have Jamie Horn versus Tyler Pursley. That's a one-on-one battle. Chris Smith, who unfortunately is not here tonight, he had a hardware malfunction in his symbol, so he's watching tonight, which is very unfortunate. So Jordan Trask, which has made the field tonight, will automatically go on. You got Evan Kinney versus Abram Ghost, who is also not here tonight. So Evan Kinney automatically going to the next round. And then you have Eric Anderson versus Matt Dyer. So we really only have 2 matchups because the other 2 have already been
Zachary
determined.
Peterson just blinked out. Disconnected.
Yeah, he's been having some issues with the internet connection. I believe he's in Florida. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But
unfortunately, we're on a virtual set here as we go green, Rockingham style. Couple more races here to go to get into that final 4 as they head off into turn 1. Lane Hoosler looks good right now with the new tires. You're going to be feeling pretty good. This is a track that's very tough on some tires here, Caleb, and I think guys that know how to save it on the long run are going to be the ones that might benefit. Now, again, saying that, it also depends on how many cautions. If we have a lot of cautions, then that slows that pace down. But if we get some long green flag runs, being patient at this place I think, is going to be the key.
Yeah, definitely want to be patient. You don't want to burn yourself up early, like you were just talking about. A track like this, with it being bumpy, abrasive, you don't want to burn your tires. It's essentially like a cheese grater on your tires. You just burn them off. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mack,
You're right.
But you just don't want to burn your tires, especially the right front, and then if you start to slide that right rear. So you just want to save as much as you can. We've seen Rob Sherwood do it the past few weeks, going forward, and working his way through the field. He just hasn't been able to get up there and get a win yet.
No. But he is one of those types. And, you talk about guys, and I've talked about this week in and week out, Joshua Altus, to me, is one of those guys who just really knows how to, at the end of the race, just find a way to get up there. Right now, he's in a good position. We got the yellow out early on. Looks like it might be Murphy in the back here. Let's go back and see. There's almost 3 wide or 2 wide back here. Let's see if he had some help or maybe the cause of the track. Looks like a truck up on the wall in front of him. Oh, just got tagged a little bit by a brown machine there. Not sure who that was, but ouch. What's up, Ryan? How you doing?
I couldn't really tell from the angle.
Yeah, we'll look a little closer here. We'll look see who that was.
Ooh.
That is. Can't really tell. Let's go back a little bit. This one is. It's the 99. Okay. 99 for somehow got up there. Who's the 99? Jason Ratz. Just, looks like two trucks just trying to take the same real estate, You mentioned it earlier. This place is just so bumpy, so, so unpredictable. It's going to be tough to get side by side really close because the bumps can upset these trucks so much. And you alluded to it. I think we're going to see some of that here tonight as guys get side by side, and it's just the bumps might throw them up, get them a little bit tight, throw them into the truck beside of them.
Absolutely, and he came off the corner and got a little loose, got into the 18 of Murphy there. I don't think the 18 had that much damage. It looked like he kind of tapped the left rear a little hard on the wall.
Where's that here?
But I don't think he's going to be hurting.
99 looks okay.
It's like he hit with the left front. And the 18 looks good. So
good right now. So yeah.
Hopefully, you can see a little bit of damage, kind of folded up on the left rear there. But
couldn't affect him on a track like this.
No, maybe down the straight, maybe down the straight, he might lose like 1 or 2 miles per hour. But realistically, if he's up there battling for the lead, it might hurt. But if he's battling for a top 10, I don't think it's gonna affect him as much.
Rockingham. I've been to Rockingham several times. Actually, I've been to the drag strip, right across the street from it.
Yeah, well, they are bringing back Rockingham next season for the Truck Series.
They did it a couple of years ago too, didn't they?
I don't know.
Look, I'm gonna make everybody happy here in a second. My man made it to the Final Four in NASCAR. That makes everybody excited, you know.
I'm confused.
The championship for NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, like IRL?
Yeah, in real life, yeah. I figured I'd throw it out there and make everybody happy.
Oh, what, Logano?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm a Hamlin fan, so...
Okay. All right. Yeah. Most of the drivers I pulled for, I'll be honest with you, they're retired by now. I've said this a many a time. I'm brand loyal more than driver loyal, and except for Bill Elliott, I always was a Bill Elliott fan. But I am Ford loyal, so I'm pretty much picking Ford drivers. Logano kind of just jumps out over the years. I pulled for him, but yeah, most of the drivers I've ever pulled for, they're retired now. I'm old school. Okay.
One thing I will say is as we're going green here. Ross Tatum, Josh Altus, you can see the jump by the two on the inside. Yes. Those are teammates. I was about to bring that up before we went green. Those are teammates. You can bet everything you got they work together on that. They want to make sure they can get both in front of Lane Holsler here to make sure they can get the clean air and breakaway. Of course, you got Sherwood behind and Matthew Dyer, who are also teammates at SMB Motorsports.
And to make Lane use those tires too. If he has to get up there and battle with him, that's a smart move. Even if he gets around him there, Caleb, sorry about that, but even if he gets around him, he wants Lane and them to use his stuff up, because normally he just gets out there and blows the field away.
Yeah, and do I think Lane's going to be pushing right now? Absolutely not. Do I think that he's going to try to get around Altus? Absolutely. I don't think he's just gonna. I don't think he's not locked in. He wants the win to get locked in. So he can go ahead and start practicing.
So he's not locked in yet with points. You don't think he is?
He's plus 30.
Okay.
He might. But
he can afford to have one bad race here with the next one here. So he's probably the only one that could afford to have if it happened to have a bad race. All the other ones really can't afford it. so to speak.
If he wrecks out, he has a cushion to where next week he can go out, finish 10th, still make the championship race. Because he's in the wall right there. But
Yeah. Well, that's just a product of Rockingham right there. You see it, and I think, and it was a run of caution, Jeffrey Wimmer, but you just saw it right there. That's just a product of Rockingham trying to get as much as you can, and you end up getting a little tight, getting up in the wall. But Jeffrey Wimmer right back here in the back, let's see what happened to him. Side by side, I think he's at 70. Yep, he's in the 73. Oh, the 79 got the wall, and then the 86 just couldn't get slowed up in time and got it back.
Yeah,
Kind of one of
and
chain reactions.
There's a playoff contender right there, Jacob Grant. You know, earlier I was talking about he qualified 16th, not the best position to be in, out in the back. You know, because that's generally where most of our wrecks happen.
Yeah. And it's just what we were just talking about too. Who can have a bad race and who can't? Some of these guys just can't afford. I mean, remember we were sitting on a 21, 22 car field. So that's a lot of points there, Caleb, and what you mentioned earlier. Some of these guys can't. They're only like 9 or 8 or 6 points to the good. Some are even lower. I mean, not like Lane, who has that 30-point cushion, who, like you said, if he wrecked out today, he still could go the next week and make it without winning. So a lot of these guys really kind of in that hot seat.
And I think that's why you're seeing them push right now. You got Tatum, Altus, Sherwood. These are generally guys, other than Tatum. Tatum we've seen up front a lot recently. But
yeah.
Altus and Sherwood, they're generally laying back and waiting to the end to pounce. You know, so to see them up front early, I think that says something to the predicament that they're in, especially Sherwood. Sherwood's 7th out of 7 drivers in the playoffs.
What about Honeycutt?
He's got to make them. Honeycutt is, I think he's 6th. So
how many is he ahead or off the cutoff line?
I think he's 3 or 6. Let me look.
Well, he needs to really step a little bit up here too. He's sitting in 9th right now. So I would say if basically if we're looking at the drivers that right now kind of like you said in that hot seat that really need to push it, I'd say Honeycutt's probably one of them. Like you said, Sherwood being another. Any of the ones out of that top 4? Yeah, I agree with you.
The drivers that need to really be on it right now, you got Honeycutt -3, Justin Carey, who's up there currently, he's -1, Tatum's +1, he's currently our leader. So if the race were to finish right now, he would be advanced to the championship race. So he's in a good position right now. You know, we don't have live updating points like NBC.
Unfortunately not. So, I usually just go off one point of thing because I mean bonus points, all that other stuff has a factor. So I usually just go to kind of like 1 point of position, you know, normal NASCAR stuff. You know, because it can get confusing if we try to sit up here and rack our brain.
Yeah, well, I mean that's, you know, I've been trying to do that. You know, try to keep the viewers as updated as possible with the point standings. So I know some of them are, you know, they don't know it as I think it's on our website, Clean Racing. Yep. So I mean they should be able to find it there. And before we go green, speaking of websites, I know he's not here tonight, and we don't have the other car on the racetrack to look at.
But we have the logo on the stream, so there we go.
Yep, there it is. We have Sports Academy, Youth Flag Football, sportsacademy.us/programs. You can go and look at all of the Youth Flag Football programs they've got. Excellent program. We're going green here. Ross Tatum. You know, I don't think that time he was able to choreograph the restart with Altus because he was on the outside. You see Holzler's back on the bottom there, you know, really getting it.
Yeah, let's see though if that bottom lane. I mean, so far the bottom lane's been able, you know, a valuable run, but you can see that truck just gets awful tight coming through there with those bumps. Man, we'll ride along here in a few with somebody and just show you how bumpy this track is going in. But Hoosler's trying everything he can. He's throwing it into the turn, which, by him doing that, he's using those tires up, and this is exactly what Tatum and Altus wants to do up front. Make him use his stuff up. Don't want to wreck, though.
No, you definitely don't want to wreck. But I mean, you can see them go in turn 3 and the truck bounce and drive up the racetrack. So I mean, I think they're racing each other, but I think they're gonna be racing the track more than they're gonna be racing each other tonight. The track is so bumpy and requires so much concentration just to not wreck. See, here's a new one. Generally when I watch people race, they don't hug the yellow line. So this is kind of different. Generally they bounce up and they kind of diamond it down.
Yeah, and that's kind of the change that we've seen about a couple updates ago. With that new track weathering that they did. They have a name for it. I forgot what the name of it was that they called it. But where you see now some tracks are multi-groove. Chicago comes to mind, where it used to just be a total top dominant track. You can use the middle low line now at that track. So some tracks that were just one kind of groove, I've noticed a few of them now have become kind of multi-groove, and like what you're seeing right here, you're able to use the low line along with the high line here. And again, you were talking about just a way different style line around this track.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't raced this track in probably like a year. So I mean, I know iRacing had plenty of updates to better the racing. I think they've had a tire model update. I think they've done a body update.
Arrows, big in arrows is what everybody's talking about, yeah.
So, but I mean, so far, I mean, everything we've commentated this season has been amazing. So, I mean, whatever they've done, it's been for the better.
Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, right there, Kerry, he got a little bit loose coming off the turn. Right now, Altus is holding off Hoosler up there in the third place spot. Kerry got around Sherwood. Sherwood falls back to fifth. Dyer back here in the sixth place spot along with Jamie Horn, who has moved up 13 spots. He's the heavy hitter tonight, up to 7. Tyler Honeycutt, he's maintaining right now, but he's got Garner, who is a newcomer to the lead. Brennan Garner. We'll see how well he fares here tonight. And, I like that, too. I've talked to many a times. Look, I get it. These guys are battling for a championship. But, man, just look, I'm out here trying to win a race. I'm not just going to move out the way. I'm going to race you on the track. I'm not going to wreck you, but I'm going to race you. And sometimes that rubs some guys a little bit the wrong way. Is that the right word to use?
Yeah, no, look, so when I was racing all the time and I was in the playoffs and, I was battling for championships, I would get irritated when I was being raced by people that weren't racing for the championship. I think that's, more of the emotion of like, I feel like I have more to lose, but when you're watching it, this is exactly, oh wow, almost hooked into the wall, Jacob Grant. That was close.
It was. That's actually Tyler Persley right there. But it goes back to what I'm saying. Now, obviously, I'm not going to wreck you, because, like you said, you have more to lose, and that's just a respect value of it. Is I'm going to race you on the track. Obviously, I have a fast enough truck to do it. If I don't, then hey, look, I'm going to let you go. But if I have a fast enough track to race you or win, then yeah, I'm not just going to pull over and say, hey, look, you're winning the championship. Go on, have at it. Ain't happening. But I'm not going to wreck you, and then again, I'm not going to hold you up if it is. I've seen some of that too, and that's where I kind of draw the line up, lap down car or something like that. You've seen that in your time frame.
Yeah, sorry, I muted my mic. Yeah, but it all goes back to emotion. When they're racing, it's like they're actually, they are racing for something. It's not just, it's not like a quick game like you're playing on a console game. Yeah, losing a ton of spots right there. 1, 2,
I think he's
3.
burning that truck up a little bit. It's running a little bit too hard. We talked about that earlier. And you can see it right there. It's just become awful tight. He just cannot get it to rotate through the turns, and it's pushing way up the track right now on him and costing him a lot of positions.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was battling Honeycutt there for a minute.
Yeah, he was.
And Honeycutt was I wouldn't say kind of sizing him up a little bit, but I mean, he was definitely making him work for it. And you just see just kind of burning your stuff up, how much of a difference it makes, especially on a track like this. Like we were talking about, how bumpy and how higher demanding it is. It's not like these smooth tracks where you can just gently turn the wheel and it goes.
And I hope they leave Rockingham. I'm sorry, but I hope they leave Rockingham alone. I hope they never repave this place to smoothness, because it's a unique track. The day they do, it takes away the uniqueness of this track. That's how I look. I mean, that's how.
While I agree with you, but let's look back at the North Wilkesboro race that they raced before they repaved. You look at it, and the asphalt was so old, and it had been so dated to where it was such a.
Can they repave it without taking the bumps out, or do they? Is it absolutely have to do that?
So
can they keep the nature of this track like that? I mean, I'm not sure if they just have to just level it,
So what I think they did, and I could be wrong. I think I'm thinking of another track here.
I think they did truck around.
Ooh, where's he at?
That's actually. Where's it back there? Truck went around back there. I saw him. Black truck. He didn't wreck, but
that's the 27.
Yeah. Go back and look right here real quick. I saw it there while you was talking. You can get back to that box. Oh well, hey, no caution, so that's a good thing. But it did go. He did slide off the track right there. But, yeah, back to your point. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. So I think it was either Atlanta or North Wilkesboro when they had repaved the track. So Atlanta, when they repaved it, it was a very bumpy, it was a very demanding track before they repaved it to the super speedway it is now. But they wanted to keep the characteristics of the track, so they tried to make some bumps into the track, try to keep it how it was. So I mean, they could do something like that, but I don't really know. I think they're repaving it. I know they had a large sum of money go into getting the track ready for NASCAR to come back.
They did. They put the safer barriers and all. Because they've run a truck race here at the Rockingham. One of the biggest, I don't want to get too far off the topic on the race right now, so some good battles on the track, but one of the major downsides of where Rockingham is, it's in a small town. It's about 2.5 hours away from where I'm at. I've raced at the dragster many a times. The problem is there really is only about one way in that track, and the road that's in the track is only a two-way road. You're going one way and the other way. It's not like down in Charlotte where they actually open up 8 lanes of road. Okay, they actually open it up to where you got 4 and 4. Here Rockingham, it is so and the traffic. I mean, you imagine 80,000 people getting in and out. That was the major one of the major downfalls of what Rockingham. That and obviously the economic standpoint of it. So get into that later time. But getting in and out of this track is treacherous to do if you've ever been here. Been here a number of times and whatnot, but good to see him coming back. Like you said there, boy, I tell you, we got a battle heating up here. Tyler Pursley, Jamie Horn. Remember, they're in that best of best battle.
Yeah, and so I think this is the closest we've seen. Is he gonna make it 3 here? No, he thinks better of it. But
I don't know about 3 wide this track. I mean, you could try it. I don't know. I wouldn't advise it.
Joe, anything can be done.
Well,
Especially when if you wreck it doesn't hurt. You can do anything you want. So
it's virtual world. Hey, I got you.
Well, I'm not, saying everyone should, drive any way they want.
Oh, I've seen it all, Caleb. Man, over the course of 8 years I've been doing broadcasting now, I've seen, like you said, unfortunately, I mean, I've said it a million times week in, week out. Hey, Chris, appreciate you being out there. Hey, it's a clean racing league. It's in their name. It's a clean race. Sure, product of the track. Sometimes some tracks are just worse than others, but I'm going to say for 95% of the time that it's in their name. It's clean racing. But I have seen some wildness and carelessness, let's say it that way. I don't want to get too over the top with it. Good battle here, though. Discord still working?
Yeah, I lost the
Okay.
screen.
Well, good deal. How's that work? I guess Discord must be acting up tonight. Put this back for you.
I say everything. It's
Hey,
still correct.
look, technical difficulties happen. We're on a virtual world, folks. I mean, it happens to me up here in the booth. It happens to the drivers here on the track. Still a good race. Pit stops. What do you think? I mean, I know we had those cautions there, so it's kind of negated some of it. But some of these guys have not yet to make a pit stop here. So when do you think they actually come on into pit road?
So I'm at this point. I can't see the race, so I'm going solely off the telemetry.
See, I've got the live up and it's still buffering. I don't know. Discord must be having a problem.
So if the race is 115 laps, right, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. So they run 46 laps going on 47, or they're on 47. And they have not pitted yet. The closest
You got it
one
now.
pitted. Oh no, I got it. We're good.
Okay. Discord must be doing something funny. Let me know if it goes back down on you again.
Alright. Yes, so the closest one that's pitted.
Ooh, I'm gonna cut the wall there a little bit.
Yeah, and that's definitely not what
The closest one is Jordan Trass. He pitted at lap 13. Persley is the next one right there as we see him battling. He pitted at lap 13. So obviously you can see those 4 tires that they put on are definitely benefiting them right now. Goes back to that track position though. I mean, you can see how long it's taking them to come through the field. But I'm just wondering maybe on Ross Tatum's point, how long do they take it?
If you can go halfway, I don't see why there's a reason why you shouldn't.
Okay.
Especially because I mean, he's hauling mail, and
Yes, he is.
they haven't even made a pit stop yet. So if he's doing this good at saving tires, well, I mean he's got hose on his tail now.
Yeah. As soon as we go back up there, before he didn't have him. Now he's got Hosler right there. Last lap, just to give everybody an idea, it was an 81 to 76. It's going to probably take him a lap to get around him or so. It's not quite a 10th difference. So it's probably going to take him about a lap, maybe 2 or so to get around him. I think he'll eventually get around him. Sherwood up to third, man. Look at Sherwood.
So I think one of these 4 drivers, the top 4, is going to cut off the chain reaction of pit stops we're going to see here in maybe the next.
Who do you think's first?
Sherwood.
Okay.
I think if Sherwood can get on pit road first, and let me just go to the telemetry real quick. He's 1.8 back from the leader, which is Ross Tatum. If he can pit probably 2-3 laps before, get those fresh tires on the car, fill it up with fuel, and run it to the end, but especially if he can push a little bit in the beginning, gain some time, and just kind of pace himself, I think he'll be in a really good position to make his way back up to fighting for the lead. Because right now he's kind of he's gone into conservation mode, you know, because third is where I'm at.
I think him and Altus both have. See, Altus right there along with him, and teammates.
Yeah. You don't. You're at the point in the run now to where you've saved so much tire. You're running a good race. The leaders are out there. Well, here comes Altus right now.
Yeah. And Carey along with him.
Yep. So, and then you got Garcia on the apron right there.
Yeah, I always gotta talk about Garcia, man. I like old Fred. Fred, unfortunately, I think he missed last week with us here, but back this week, he was feeling a little bit under the weather, so I hope he's feeling a lot better. But good to see, man, old Fred out here. It just one of those drivers who just comes out here and just loves to race, just wants to be here, wants to drive. You know, we talked about the competitive spirits of a lot of drivers. I mean, everybody wants to win, obviously, but Fred's just one of them who says, look, I just want to come and have fun and drive and be with these guys. And it's cool to see, you know, so, yeah, good old Fred.
Yeah, you know, this season he's made 200 starts in the series as he's got there, but he's back. You know, 200 starts in any one series, that's massive.
Impressive.
You know, the previous, the league founder, actually, so, you know, he's made the league, he's since transferred ownership over to Chris Smith.
Yep.
And, you know,
Chris out there in the chat, by the way. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? We miss you tonight because usually we like looking at your truck as we battle for the lead here. Tatum's under fire by Hoosler. Blaine going to try to slingshot it in. He does. Is that truck going to get too tight? Maybe a crossover move? Tatum says, no, you know what? I think it's too close to the pit stops like you were mentioning earlier. If that would have been earlier in the run, I think he might have tried to slingshot back around Lane. But at this point, it's like, okay, now let's just ride a little bit. And you see Sherwood's caught up to those two.
He can't let him break away unless he's going to pit here. He can't let him break away.
I agree.
If he lets him break away, then all the time he would have been making a pit stop is gone.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you can gain 2 seconds. You know, anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds. You know, if you're good on pit road, you know, the aggression levels getting onto the pits. If you know you're changing tires, lock them down. You're not going to be on them for the rest of the race. Use them. So lock them down, get it down to, I think it's 45, 55. I think it's 1 of the 2.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I should know, but it's not 100%. Like I say, it's been a while since I've raced in these and whatnot. Some of the times might change, but I think it's about. Chris, what's the pit road speed for is out there? Chris would know.
So you lock them down.
Pit road 40, Chris.
you can you know, here's Sherwood. I think Tatum has burned his stuff up.
Now's time, I think, where he should come in the pits or think about it. I'm like you, the more time he wastes or loses on track, I don't want to say wastes, but loses on track, that's much more time he has to make up. And then you're burning those tires up again. Because at this point, we're well past the halfway. I mean, we're past halfway. So you should be able to make it all the way as Ross Tatum is on pit road with Tyler Perchley.
Yeah, and you know, once he got passed by Sherwood, you know, he had the pit. You keep going, and at that point, you're only hurting yourself.
Sherwood's on pit road.
Yeah,
Smart move by Sherwood, I think, right there.
His lane's still out.
Lane is still out, yes.
Yeah,
Peter's still out. I guarantee he comes in this time. Because the more he stays out, he's going to lose some time. Right. But then again, we've seen track position, you know.
Yeah, and, you know, I think he's going to pit right here.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see him very heavy onto the pit lane. So, beautiful entry. But I mean, you've seen him on the exit too, sliding up to the wall. You've seen it snap. We've seen it. You know, at I think it was Las Vegas. I think that's where we were at last week. Yeah, I mean, he was in the wall. So I mean, he's giving it everything he's got. You know, 5 wins in the season. Unless something drastic happens, he's pretty much a lock for the championship. Do I think he needs to win?
But
no.
Not a lock for the champion. To be the champion.
No.
Because he dominated last season and or dominated a lot last season. And it was dominating there late in the race too. And then boy just flipped the script on him, and Altus came out and just stole it away.
Yeah.
Now it all depends on here. You talked about earlier. I'm sorry, you talked about earlier the pits of Tatum and Sherwood. How far out in front are they going to be able to get? Looks like they only got about 0.6 over Hoosler there. He's going to have about a lap or two better tires. We'll have to see how that helps out on a track like this. Normally, I would say track position, and I'm still going to stick to that, even though tire wear will fall off. It still takes a little bit to get around them. Those guys were so evenly matched up there earlier that I think it still will take, you know, several laps for Hoosler to get back up here and get around. All depending on if Sherwood wants to be, you know, kind of conservative here.
Yeah, you know, the undercut has worked perfectly. You know, allowing these trucks to get back in front of the 61. You know, this is exactly, I feel like, what I was saying. You know, you pit early, you can kind of get back in front of them. You know, but you don't want to burn your stuff up, because then you're just going to watch them drive off into the sunset. So, you know, you can see Hoosler trying to find some clean air, trying to get around him. He doesn't want to burn his stuff up early. But you have Sherwood, who I feel like is pacing himself along with Tatum, you know, as they're riding behind Martin in the 35. But, yeah, and then Altus
battle right here, yeah.
So
this is actually well, I would say for second yet. Actually, right now, Spinelli has not come in. Altus is the one who came in early at lap 54. So he's got that big lead, about 5-6 seconds out front, along with Justin Carey sitting right there in third for the moment. But you see Hoosler's going to make it around Sherwood. Tatum still in the front pack here. He's going to try to, looks like he's working over a lap truck. See Carey pitted at lap 54 also. Can they make it all the way from that point?
You know, I think they'll be fine. Look, if Altus pitted, he knows something that up here in the booth we don't know. I know they run telemetry that tells them when they're going to be good on gas based on how they've been racing. So if he pitted, odds are he probably got a green light that told him that he could pit. But also he may have short pitted that light a lap or two early, and now he's got to save. But he was just trying to get ahead. You know, as long as he can get ahead, maybe he can hold off Hoosler in 61.
Yeah, well, here comes Hoosler. We saw him in the picture right there as he's actually battling Ross Tatum, as Ross Tatum's coming up there too. I don't know how much Ross tries to pinch down Hoosler at this point, or tries to hold him back. Maybe tries to use Carey as a little bit. It all depends. Carey goes up the top side. Wow, and they're going to thread the needle with him. Boy, it's a ballsy move right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tatum realizes that had he just stayed there, that would have been
paid off for him. I'm sorry, that paid off for him.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fantastic move. Probably even the move of the race if this works out. You know, Carey pitted alongside Altus. So unless Carey is saving, this is not a good
caution. You know, and that move might just pay off for him right here, because this caution is going to help him. Joe Spinelli coming out of pit lane, old tires, maybe spinning around. He did hit that wall pretty hard down here. Watch it right here and see. damage already on the front of that truck. Yeah, he just... Oh! Hell, if he had... he done. That truck is toast.
I'm gonna make the joke. Joe Spinelli.
Yeah,
he spins.
Spuns it. He Spinelli'd it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Hey, look. All right.
So
Look at this, pit stops. I mean, I think that's smart. As abrasive as this track is, you know, under caution, why not? Come in pits, get 4 tires, you know. I think it's smart, but this right here, and we go back to that move that Tatum did. That move paid off for him here huge, because it's going to get him, as long as he gets off of pit road here, going to get him out front in front of Hoosler. Yeah, that was an impressive move, and oh, he didn't beat him off pit road. Look at the pit times here. Let's see. Hoosler had a 14:57. Tatum had a 14:73. Wow. Yeah. Up a little bit on the pit stop.
So if you look at two trucks that have stayed out. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. They're coming in now. Okay.
Yeah,
Bonus points, I reckon.
I was going to say, if they stayed out, that is a very risky move, especially on a track as hot as Rockingham and as slick as Rockingham.
I agree with you.
You restart on old tires on a track like this, and you don't do it right, you're pretty much going to wipe out, one, yourself, and probably a few trucks behind you, because once they start going, either the checkup's going to get them, or you're going to spin it and then take out a few people. So, you know, you see some people stay out and try to risk the older tires, and you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes, you know, they get to turn 1 and it doesn't work out. You know, 99% of the time it doesn't work out. So I don't know. It is nice to see, you know, and it kind of spices the race a little bit. But yeah,
absolutely.
So happy they pitted. You know, you definitely. I'm not saying that they're not allowed to race, but the race that we're currently looking at involves like 6 drivers. So, you know, Altus, Trask, Hosler, Carey, Tatum, Sherwood. You know, and then you got Horn and Honeycutt rounding out the top 8. Yeah, the top 6 is mainly what we're looking at. That was I guess the race for the lead. I know Trask wasn't up there. I think Trask had taken a shorter pit stop. I could be wrong though.
He pitted a lap 70. Yeah, he only took about he took 2 tires. There's a 9-second pit stop, so I'm gonna say he took 2 tires because he had to take fuel anyways.
Yeah, that's actually like a 2-tire stop. So, yeah, I guess what I said, or I guess we're gonna find out. I don't think he's going to be up there very long. But you know, I could be wrong. I was wrong last week. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens as the pace truck is in.
And you see right there, Altus gets a good jump. Spinning the tires of the 79, Trask did. So, wow, and that's going to hurt, man. The guy's right behind him there of Justin Carey. But, yeah, just like that, tire spin.
Yeah, and if I'm a playoff driver that got stuck behind that, I'm fuming. I am not very happy right now, and you can kind of see in the way that Sherwood is driving, dicing it up a little bit. But you know, I hate to be the one to be like, you know, I called it, but he spun it. He spun the tires. Yeah. So
I mean, there's a big difference between the lap we're at right now, and then let's say maybe 15 or 10 to go with a move like that. You know, there's still a lot of racing left. Meanwhile, up front, let's see if Altus is going to try to hold Hoosler out. Because I really think you make it hard for Lane to pass you. I know it's early in the race, but I really think you try to pinch him down. Yeah, nothing wrong with pinching down, not trying to wreck him or anything, but try to make it hard on him, because once he gets out there and you let him, like you said earlier, you mentioned, you let him set sail and kind of take this race in his own hands and predict kind of predict the races. You see right there, he just blew right by him. It's going to be tough to get it back from him.
Yeah, and Altus isn't going to give it up easy here. They both have the same amount of fresh tires. They're definitely going to race each other. So I think they're both going pretty hard here. Two drivers that, they're
I just don't know how he does it, Caleb, week in and week out. I mean, Lane is just like, he's on another level. He made that look easy there, and I'll just try to get right back around him, and that's just, man got skills.
Yeah, and the drivers fighting for the championship are all very skilled, right? But I mean, they're I guess
I won't take anything away from everybody else now.
I guess you could say he's having a Kyle Larson season, 2021 season. Just pretty much.
Yeah, we ain't got no cheating in the Clean Racing League. Come on now.
No, listen. I mean,
Oh, I had to say that.
iRacing has a very good anti-cheat system.
That's right. That's right.
I have never encountered any cheaters in my time, so
I've heard of some, but I mean, I've never encountered. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. Because anything's breakable, but heard of it. But the bottom line is not in this league. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from any other driver, but I mean, Lane is on another level. Is he beatable though? That should be the ultimate question. Yes, because we saw it last year, and the top two guys. I mean, you saw Altus take that championship. He sure would, man. He's battling here for third.
Yeah, and he is giving no room. The 79 is the one that spun the tires, and Sherwood got caught up behind it and ran him over. So I think Sherwood is a little hot underneath the helmet right now. Especially with the 79 giving him no room. You can see right there. But he needs to get around him as quick as possible. The more he fights him, he's just cleared him right there. But he now needs to turn his race back towards the front and not worry about him. He is not the guy he's fighting. He needs to focus on the people in front, gain as many points as possible. He came in -9, 7th in the playoffs, which is last at the moment. He needs a really good point today, and fighting with the 79 isn't going to help him.
No.
But he's clear now, and he can break away and run. I say Altus is kind of falling back here. I think he burned his stuff up battling the 61.
Or I mean, we've seen him do this time and time again. Maybe he's just in that conservation mode saying, look, I just want to ride. He doesn't need to win. I would say, obviously, staying here in the top 3, top 4 is beneficial for him. He doesn't really need to win going in. I mean, ultimately, yes, you want to win, but he doesn't need it. He doesn't want to fall out of that top 10. I will say that.
No, look, so Altus came in +9. If he finishes where he's at, which is third, or even top 5, he is going to gain points. He's going to probably be +10, if not more, to the good. I think if Sherwood has a good day, he's going to be, if not in the championship, he's going to be on the cut line, closer than he is now, if not ahead of it. Sherwood's had a very good day. Tatum, who's on the cut line, +1. He's having a good day in second. He's going to be above it by the end of this race. So all of the S&B guys having a really good race, and as long as they stay where they're at, they should all be in the championship. Even Kerry was
what
I
about
think
Honeycutt right now?
Honeycutt.
I'm rooting for Honeycutt. I mean, I know I shouldn't be rooting for nobody. I should stay neutral, but I would like for him to get in that Final 4. Because he hadn't won a race all season.
So Honeycutt is going to have, I wouldn't say an immaculate next 2 weeks. This is including this race that we're currently in right now. He's going to have an immaculate race tonight and next week if he wants to see at least. Here, let me. I'll let you know right now.
I should know.
I should also know. It is Atlanta 08.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
Also,
not a bad track.
Joe, we go from a bumpy track like Rockingham to one of the bumpiest tracks I've ever raced at, Atlanta, before the repave. It is going to test these drivers, and listen, he's going to have an immaculate 2 weeks, and
track position will matter next week a lot.
A bunch of these drivers are good at mile-and-a-half tracks. It's just Atlanta is not your typical mile-and-a-half before the repave. It is very. It is like Rockingham. It is very. It is abrasive. It is bumpy. It is very tire demanding. It's not like it's not like Las Vegas where you can gently turn the wheel and it goes in. You actually have to drive it. There's bumps everywhere on the racetrack. Yeah. So, it's going to demand a lot, and we're ending at Homestead, Miami. So,
it's going to be interesting. I mean, if I'm a betting man, obviously Hoosler, I'll say Altus, Sherwood. That third or fourth and final person, I think, is really up. Tatum's there. I think Honeycutt has a shot. Carey, it's that fourth position, I think, is the one. I mean, next week is going to be interesting. It'll be tell the tale. Obviously, we're not done here because we still could have a really huge mix-up. And then what you said before, this is not what any of them wanted to happen. Is to have Hoosler just get out here and control the race. He's 1.4 seconds over Tatum right now. But if Ross does come out of here in second, that is really good. I mean, even if Altus and Sherwood, that's where they want to be at. Top four.
And bringing home really good points. Excuse me. But some drivers to look at. Jacob Grant. We haven't. I talked to him, or I talked about him at the beginning of the race, qualifying 16th. Mm-hmm. Not where he wanted to qualify.
He's in 10th right now. Up 6.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to be really close there.
Yeah, it is in person.
Euro. But he not the race he wanted. I mean, he's going to bring home some decent points for tonight, but I just don't think it's. I do think he's going to be in contention for a win next week. He's always been very good at Atlanta, but there's also drivers like Sherwood, Tatum, Mosley, Altus, Carey, Honeycutt.
I might go turn Hoosler's internet off for next week.
I mean, he'll probably still make the playoffs. I mean, the championship. So here, let's just look at the points. Jacob is sitting second with plus 12 above the cut line. Is this race going to hurt him?
Jacob.
Say we're currently riding on board looking down.
Hey, Jacob Grant. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So, but he's plus 12. I mean, it's nowhere close to Lane Holzler's plus 35. But I mean, Jacob Grant has a very good cushion from the cutoff line to he can. So
Grant's
finish
in 4th place right now.
Second.
He's in second. Okay.
Yeah. He's in second plus 12. Altus is plus 9. Tatum is plus 1. So Tatum is going to come away with this, a few more points above the cut line. Carey is minus 1.
What about Sherwood? Sherwood is where, man?
Sherwood is minus 9, 7th. which is last in the playoff standings.
I got you.
So he is -9, so he's going to come away with some good points. You know,
So then I go back to what I'm saying. If Jacob if he gets around here with Honeycutt, then I go back to if he has another good run next week, then that Final Four could be Hoosler, Grant, Tatum, and Altus. Sherwood could be the one out.
yeah, and
Maybe Sherwood might need to be the one that's like picks it up here and needs some every spot he can get.
yeah, and you know, so there's so many good drivers that Jacob Grant, past champion, Altus, two-time champion, Hoser, multi-time champion in the series, 5 wins on the season. Sherwood, he's battled for multiple championships, hasn't really come away with one yet, but has always been there. A bunch of good drivers battling for the championship, and we only
Green
have
rises
4
to the
spots.
top. That's what they say.
Yeah, and there's only 4 spots, but we're coming to the closing laps
No, it
here.
would really mix it up here, Caleb. Make it 6 spots.
I feel like at that point you should just make it points based. The series before we went to the playoff format used to be overall points from the beginning of the season to the end.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, could you imagine
I
the
don't
top
think-
6 best drivers? That would be like,
I don't know. I feel like that takes a little bit of the aggression out of it, because you're like, oh, okay, well, there's 2 more spots added. I can
you still got
lay
to
back.
win. You still got to be in front of the
Oh.
other guys.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. But like getting to that point, like there's only 4 spots, 7 very talented drivers.
Well, you'd have to extend the round of 8 and all that. You'd have to extend that part to get it done. We couldn't obviously have round of 8 and be like, oh yeah, 2 drivers are going to be left out. You see what I'm saying? You'd have to rework the rest of the champions, which it was like that at one time with the championship playoffs when it first came out. It was the top 10 or something like that, or top 12. It was something that it was all base points, like 15th or something.
Yeah, I think that was a chase.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, you 15 drivers, they went at it. It was points based. They all was even, and they went and whoever at the end of the last races, boom, won. I like that format better, but yeah, that's just me. It's a because, and I don't want to get too far off the subject here because of the race here is, as we go back into real life, what basically just happened now. Yes, I'm a Joey Logano fan, but he lucked into what he got, and then he won. Theoretically, it wouldn't have transpired, even though he'd have won, he'd have never made it. You see what I mean? So I look at it, it seems like some luck is involved, or if you win a race, boom, you're in. It's not always the best driver, even here in the Clean Racing League. We could have said Lane Hoosler was the man. Hey, late race deal last season, took it away. Altus came out there and stole it. By points, though, I think Ben Hoosler would have came in and probably taken that. So there's an argument for both sides, I believe.
So yeah, I do believe we are coming to the final lap here.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, this one went fast.
Yeah, and a battle for second here.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this battle here. Yeah.
Lane Holzer, 3.2 ahead. He is not even in the frame.
No, he's not. He's going to put this one in victory lane. We're going to watch this battle here, 3 and 4. Does Altus dive it down inside? Tatum almost went up into the wall. He goes high, but is he going to get the run off the turn? Or is he going to stick? Yes, he is. Ross Tatum's going to hang on to second, but that man, Lane Hoosler, is going to punch his ticket to the Final Four. It's going to be interesting, like we just talked about the entire race here, about what's going to transpire next week. As now you've got 3 spots up for grabs to go to Homestead. Caleb, it's going to be a good one here. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Hey, Chris, I hope you enjoyed the the commentating me and Caleb up here, we try to talk about every little aspect of what's going on, race and points and whatnot. But Caleb, man, that was a thriller.
Yeah, it absolutely was. You had pit strategy. You seen somebody take two tires. It really didn't work out. Kind of checked up some of the field. It didn't really affect the finishing order of the race. We had some cautions here and there, but overall, fantastic race.
That's
We do have our drivers in the interview room.
Yeah. Let's bring a Baltus up here and let's get a word with him.
Hey, Josh, you got me?
I'm for Caleb. I got you.
Hey, man. So, overall, pretty good race. You did come into the playoffs in the third position, +9. Uh, Pretty good points day, finishing third. What was the mindset going into the race, and what was the execution like?
Yeah, overall a solid race. We did what we needed to do and just have a good points night. We're kind of down to the nitty gritty now, and I had a decent little cushion. So last week I was really fast at Iowa and got into some trouble late and definitely got a finish that I thought we were way better than. So the plan was obviously to come in and race for a win. That's what I try to do every week, and I don't know what we need to do to beat Lane right now. I mean, he's just on a whole another level right now, and credit to him, man. This track in particular, it's like a cheese grater on the tires, and it's really important to try to save the tires. And I tried to do a strategy call and kind of short pit and get myself out front and hope to catch a caution, which all of that worked to plan. And then once we got the lead, Lane was just basically running qualifying laps, and I figured, I didn't want to push that hard to try to hurt the tires, and he just never seemed to fall off. So I don't know what he's found or what he's doing different, but he's definitely kicking everyone's butts right now. So more credit to him, but overall happy with the podium finish.
Yeah, well, it was an excellent race. Is there anyone you want to thank for today's race?
Yeah, always got to thank Chris Smith and everyone, Sports Academy, Youth Flag Football, Grant Designs. Just appreciate all our league sponsors and everyone that puts on this league. It's a fantastic league, and I'm really, really happy to be here. So, got to give a shout out to my teammates, my SMB Motorsports teammates, Rob Sherwood, Ross Tatum, Matt Dyer. Zach, I thought was coming back tonight, but he had some internet issues. So, just appreciate all my teammates, and we were all good tonight. We finished second, third, fourth, and I'm not sure quite where Dyer ended up, but second, third, and fourth is a good run for all of us. And we got one more race, and we head to Old Atlanta next week, and we'll try to have a good showing there, and then get ready and try to defend this championship.
Well, it was a great race tonight, and congrats on the third place finish, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There you go. Joshua Altus, man, like you said, doing what he needed. Ross Tatum, he held on to that second place, so had a good points night. Bring him up here, look at a word with him.
Hey, Ross, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man. So, qualifying, you did pretty good. And you were out front for pretty much the entire race. You and Lane were battling. We kind of had seen when you got past, you had made the pit stop and you had got back in front of them. And then the caution had come out, everyone had pitted. What kind of happened after that? We kind of seen a checkup on the outside, kind of threw everyone off. But what was the race like?
The race was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun tonight. I really love running the high line here, so I was digging that. But for whatever reason, it just made me too tight tonight. Usually, I don't have that problem here. I don't know if it was the low fuel or what, but I struggled after about 30 laps, and honestly, I was lucky to hold Lane off as long as I did in that first run because he was quite a bit faster. And I don't know. I think I was about a fourth place car tonight, but I just got lucky with the staying out in front mostly. But sorry, I've lost my voice today. But yeah, it was just, all in all, it was a fun race though. I can't complain.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely a thrilling race to watch up here in the booth. Is there anyone you want to thank for today's race?
Yeah, I want to thank Will Bustler for painting all my schemes. I know I say it every week I get interviewed, but he paints all my schemes, and lucky for him to do that. I want to thank you guys at OSR. You guys are awesome. I love going back and watching them. Sometimes I just let it play in my car while I'm driving and listen to it. Uh, Got to thank Chris Smith for running this league. He does such an awesome job. It's been just a lot of fun all season. Uh, and then obviously Rob and Josh and Matt for our team. And then Zach showed up tonight. So it's always fun racing with those guys. And congrats, Lane, on the win. Two more. Hopefully I can get a win at some point. But if not, it's been a lot of fun all season. So just looking forward to next week.
Well, congrats on your second place finish, and we will see you next week at Old Atlanta.
Appreciate it.
Hey, there you go, man, Caleb. That's Ross Tatum there, but this guy, he had him covered tonight. Lane, you in the booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Lane, I tell you what, you punch a ticket into the Final Four here to try again to get a championship, but they're scratching their head out here. What have you found that a lot of these other drivers just can't right now figure out?
I honestly don't know what I figured out there. After the way Evan kind of handed us our butts last week at Iowa, I kind of went to work on figuring out how to make the long run best, and figured out that the bottom was probably going to be the place to be. The top didn't wear out the tires that much more, but I just put a lot of effort into trying to make sure I saved the tires, held on as long as possible, and tried to maintain a pace. That's really all I was trying to do, is be patient and make lap time.
Yeah, I got to ask, though, between this track, we know it's very, very abrasive and bumpy. We're going to the Old Atlanta next week here before the Final Four. How are the similarities between this track and that track and your driving style going into that?
I haven't had a whole lot of good luck at Atlanta, so I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to transfer over. I know Old Atlanta is pretty bumpy, especially on the bottom. There's a couple of big bumps in 3 and 4, so it's going to be just trying to figure those out and seeing where we end up, honestly.
So maybe try to advocate for the championship race to be Old Atlanta next year, right?
Honestly, I would rather have Darlington, but you know.
Okay. I got you. All right. A little even tougher. Well, I tell you what, man, there's one thing I can say is you definitely got it out there. You're going to the Final Four, race for another chance for a championship, but you got the victory tonight. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, thank you guys for putting this on. Got to thank the Discord chat for keeping me motivated. They kind of razz me quite a bit during the week, and it's nice to be able to show up and kind of make them question how much they want to razz me over the next week.
And no doubt about it, they definitely don't want anybody getting you man roused up, man, because you're definitely on another level. But again, congratulations on that win there, Lane.
Thank you. I got to say thanks to pretty much everybody in the league too. They do race really clean. I know we stress that a lot. Chris stresses that a lot, and I do think we do a really good job in this league. So
Absolutely, man. My thoughts on that also. I'll tell you what, Caleb, it's going to be interesting. We go to Old Atlanta, come from a bumpy track, going to another bumpy track.
Yeah, so I did not know that Old Atlanta was the final race for the championship race, but I think you're going to see a lot of aggression next week, knowing that Lane is locked in. So we only have 3 spots left. And you have 6 drivers battling for 3 more spots, and they're pretty much all there on points. Everyone had a pretty good points night tonight that needed to. So they're all pretty much going to be close together to where if something happens next week, they could shift the entirety of the points into one's favor. So it's going to be very exciting next week to see what happens. But, we won't know until next Monday night.
Absolutely. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to leave Rockingham tonight here. Lane punches that ticket to the Final Four here at the Clean Racing League. And for myself and everyone, have a good night.